Hello everyone, today I am going to discuss a new topic, structure in C programming language. Before going to discuss what is structure, how do I access the structure, how do I working with the structure, let us take a problem. Suppose we have a garage, you want to store all the information about the cars which are available in your garage. For this purpose, look at that. Suppose we have a car 1, so Suzuki Swift for example. So engine type of this car is DDIS 190 engine and fuel type is petrol, fuel tank capacity is 37, seating capacity is 5, city mileage is 19.74 km per liter. So we if I want to store all the information, so we have to take an character arrays to store DDIS engine type, DDIS 190 engine. So we have to take another character arrays to store petrol, we have to take integer variable fuel tank capacity to store 37, we have to take seating integer variable, seating capacity is 5, we have to take float variables to store the city mileage 19.74. So that means you can see that to store a single specification of a car information we need a different kind of data type. So we need an character array, we need an integer, we need an float type data type. So we need different kind of variable we have to store store the information of a particular single car. Suppose I want to store for car 2 information. So here the engine type for example 1.2 liter copper dual VT engine for example diesel. So fuel tank capacity for example 35, seating capacity for example 5 and city mileage for example 22.84 km per liter. Okay. So if I want to store the car 2 specification, similarly we need character array for car 2, same type of variable we need for car 2 specification, fuel type, fuel tank capacity 35, seating capacity is 5, city mileage is 22.84 float type. So that means if I want to store a single car information we need 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I want to store 5 field we need a 5 variable. Similarly if I want to store same information for the different car, the specification is different, then we need to allocate the same type of variable again. So suppose we have a 100 car, I want to store the information of 100 cars. What do you need? We have to 100 times we have to define the variable for each of the specification. So 100 times you have to declare the variable. So that means it's a time consuming, it's a wastage of memory. So what is the solution? What is the alternative solution for this purpose? Suppose you can consider another example. Suppose I want to store the information of student information, where I want to store the registration number of a student, I want to store the roll number of a student, I want to store name of a student, for example Sumon Banerjee, branch CSC, semester 2nd, total marks is 460. Similarly if I want to store more than one student information, every time we have to use or we have to define the each of the variable for the particular single student. Similarly if I consider another example for an employee, so we have to do the same thing again and again for 100 employee also. But if the data is very large, 1000 information I want to store, it's not the right way to store the information to individual, consider the individual variable. For a particular single car it is okay, but if I want to store more than one data, more than one information for the particular car, so it is not a right way to store the information. So what is the alternative solution? Only one alternative solution, one stop solution, that is called structure. Because if I use the structure we can store the different using structure we can we can define a different data type which hold more than one element of different type. So in this chapter, in this lecture, we will discuss about the what is structure, how to declare a structure. So how to declare structure variable, how to initialize and accessing the structure member, what is the difference between local structure and global structure. These are the important four things: how to declare a structure, how to declare the structure variable, how to initialize the value of a structure variable, how to access those member of a structure. That are the important main thing of a structure. This is the basic thing is required. So we will discuss in details when I go to the topic. Then we will go for the structure type, how by using structure tag, by using structure definition, type def. Then we go for the what does mean the embedded structure declaration. So how do I declare an embedded structure? And then we will move on the new topic, move advanced topic, array of structure, pointer to structure declaration or pointer to structure variable. So we will cover this topic pointer to structure when we cover the chapter pointer. After that we will discuss pointer to structure variable. Then we will move on structure and function. So and more advanced topic in structure padding in C and structure packing in C. So we will see one by one. So what is structure? The next question is, what is structure? First question is, what is structure? Structure, first one is a user defined data type. So what is structure? First we have to tell you that structure is a user defined data type. Using structure we can define, using structure we can define a data type which holds more than one element of different type. So what is structure? Structure is a user defined data type. Using structure we can define a data type. So we can define a data type. Please make a note on this point. We can define a data type which holds more than one element of different type. So that means with the help of structure we can define or develop our own data type. If I write the definition, exact definition, so we can write the definition: a structure is a user data type. A structure is a user defined data type that can be used to group element that can be used to group element of different types into single types. So, structure is a user defined data type that can be used to group element of different types of single type into single types. So, look at that in my first example. So, here if I use a structure, so here without structure we are using different data type. So, engine type, fuel type is another data type, fuel tank capacity another integer type data type, seating capacity integer data type, city mileage float type data type. So, here we are using different data type. Instead of it we can create our own data type consisting of separate field or member into a single type. I think the definition is clear. First one is we have to think that is a user defined data type. That means with the help of structure we can create our own data type. And what is the advantage? By using structure we can create or develop our data type which can hold one element of different type. That is actually advantage of structure. We can group the different types of into a single type. You have a primitive data type, for example integer, character, float, double, like we can develop our own data type by using structure. So, next question is how do I declare structure? So, the next question is how can I declare a structure? So, if I think as a syntax, if I consider syntax to declare a structure, first we have to use the keyword struct, struct. Struct is a keyword, then you have to give some identifier or you can say structure tag. So, that is identity. That is the name of the structure. Okay. Then we have to use the second brace, opening second brace, then you have to mention the data type of the first variable, for example data 1, then data type of second variable, for example data 2, similarly data type of n variable data n. Then you have to close the second bracket and after that we have to give a semicolon. This is very very important. At the end of a structure we have to use the semicolon. So, here struct is a keyword and this is the name of a structure. And these are data type are basic data type. These are basic data type. That means integer, char, float, array. Okay, basic data type. Character array if I use, and these are called member or field. So, these are called member or field, or you can say it is a structure element or structure element. So, first we have to write the struct, then name followed by name, we have to give some name, then we have to use the second bracket, opening second bracket, then we have to mention number of data type within this structure, then at the end of a structure we have to use the semicolon, so that we can understand it is a structure. Suppose we have to take an example, compare with an example. For example, struct student. This is the name of the structure student. Then I want to take some field, for example integer registration number, REG registration number. Then we have to put the name. For this purpose I want to take an character array. Name of the array is name and its size is for example 30. Then branch, suppose size is 20. Integer semester, float, total marks. At the end you have to give the semicolon. Compare with this one. Student registration number, roll number, name, branch, semester, total marks. Suppose I want to store name, branch, semester, total marks, registration number. If I want to store roll number, so integer roll number. So we have to give the name of a structure, that is this is the name of a structure student, and struct is a keyword. These are called member or field or element, structure element, and at the end we have to give the semicolon. This is one way declaring the structure. Later we will see that how many ways we can declare a structure. Okay. So the next question is how to declare the structure variable. How to declare the structure variable, or we can say that when we get memory allocation, so we have declared a structure. So if you consider that if I declare for example if I use int main, then if I declare int, is there any meaning? No. So compared with this one, we have just declared a data type, nothing else. So that means we have to declare a variable. So if I declare int a, so that is a complete statement. So here a is a variable which is integer type. If I consider this example, this is my data type, so struct student, this is my data type, this is my data type, and for example the variable name is S1. So this is the declaration of a variable, this is the name of the variable. So if I consider you might ask me that data type is always a single word. We know in case of primitive data type we have seen the data type is always single word. Integer, char, float, double, these are the single word, but when we think about the user defined data type, it is a double word, two word. So struct student is total is a data type. Then we have declared, compare with this one, we declare S1 is a variable, this variable is structure type variable. So what does mean when the memory will be allocated? So if I write in this way, so here we have written for example registration number. So first registration number, then roll number, then name, it will take more white, then branch, similarly it will take semester, then total marks, so it is a contiguous memory location. We know that when we declare a structure, the memory will be allocated a continuous block of memory. Contiguous block of memory will be allocated. So, how many byte is required? How many byte is required? We will discuss in later. How many byte is required? What is the size of the structure? How do I get the size of the structure? We will discuss in a minute. So, from now we know that how to declare a structure. How to declare a structure. Then we know that how to declare a structure variable. How to declare a structure variable. The next point is how to declare our structure variable in different way. So, syntax for structure variable declaration is structure struct chart type then variable list. This is the array type of a structure, then number of variable. If I want to store more than one variable, if I want to take more than one variable, then you have to use the semicolon, just like a ordinary variable declaration. So, suppose if I want to store int a comma b, then more than one variable, we use semicolon, we use comma in between two variables. So, similarly, if I want to store more than one variable, structure variable in a single line, we have to use the comma to separate the number of variable, each of the variable. So, suppose I want to check another example, struct student x1 y, x and y. So, there are two variable structure variable, one is x, another is y. So, another way we can declare the structure variable when we define a structure. So, if I consider struct student, same structure, then all the field are here, and after that we can write x comma y, then semicolon. So, we have so many field here compared with the first one. Here we are just declare only the structure, here we have declared the variable. If I want to declare the structure variable at a time, we have another type of another way of declaring structure. We have to put the structure variable at the end of second bracket, then we have to use the semicolon at the end. This is the second way declaring a structure. At a time we have to declare the structure member and we have to declare the structure variable at a time. Now, question is how do I initialize? How do I initialize of a structure? So, next part is initialization. Of a structure. So, if you want to initialize directly, we can use the variable name struct, then structure name student, then structure variable name. For example, S1, I want to put registration number, for example 110, this is my registration number, is a integer. Then we have to put roll number, for example 01 is roll number, then name is, for example, Sumon Banerjee, Sumon, this is the name of the student. Then branch CSC, it is also an character array, and then semester, for example second semester, then the total marks is 480. Then you have to use the semicolon at the end. Compare with this one. Registration number, that is 110, roll number 01, character name, character array name is Sumon, branch, that is also an character array CSC, semester 2, float, total marks, that is 480 dot something. If I want to use the dot, that is okay, 0, 5. Okay. So, here what does mean the initialization? Initialization will give the value of the variable, or we can say that initialization means to initialize the value of the each of the member of a structure. But when we initialize in this way, we have to maintain the order of declaration. So, means we cannot say Sumon, we cannot write Sumon first, then we cannot write roll number at the end, we cannot write in this way, but order of declaration and order of initialization must be same. In which way you have declared the structure variable, in which way you are declared the structure member, that's you have to follow. You have to follow the way of declaring the structure member. We can declare or initialize the structure variable by another way, by using dot operator also. So, that means we can declare or initialize the value of a variable by using dot operator also. So, we will see later. Now, so far we have completed how to declare a structure and how to declare a structure variable and how to initialize the a structure. The next question is how to access the member of a structure. So, access member of a structure. There are two ways we can access a structure. First one is using dot operator. There are two ways we can access the member of a structure. First one is using dot operator, that is called member operator, and second one is arrow operator, that is called structure pointer operator. We will use, when we cover the pointer chapter, then we will use the structure pointer operator. How do I access a member of a structure?